It's the Profit Answer Man, Rocky Lalvani. We have a mantra at Profit First. Profit is a habit. It's not an event. When you have amazing cash flow and profits, life is easy. And guess what? That's what I'm here to help you with today. Today, we're going to talk about taking profit distributions and what that means. Let's face it, without cash flow, you can't pay your employees, buy needed materials, or pay your mortgage and support your family. I help you to do that and more so you can focus on the parts of the business you love and receive the rewards for your labor and investment into your business. Remember, more revenue does not equal more profit. That's why we focus on the bottom line. I have a few guests lined up for upcoming shows to share how they built profitable companies. When using the Profit First system, Profit First Distribution Day is the first day of every quarter. So on October 1st, my clients took a profit distribution. What does this mean? They physically removed cash from their business, and they use it for purposes other than their business. Why do we do this? Because business is full of storms. Many are facing a COVID storm. Sometimes we face a healthcare crisis in our family. Sometimes a new large competitor moves into our market. Sometimes technology changes and what we're doing becomes obsolete. Or someone can now sell it for less than we can in our market. Maybe a customer goes bankrupt and doesn't pay us. There's many hurdles in business. I'm sure you know of a few that you've faced. Having a fortress of wealth outside the company means you survive no matter what happens. This business of mine, it can stop producing revenue today, and I will be fine for the rest of my life. I don't ever have to worry. Do you know how freeing that is? It takes time to do this, but the universal laws of compounding always work. And that's why slow, steady actions can provide freedom for you. How does the profit distribution work? And what do we do with it? 4 times a year, we look at the money in our profit account and we take half of it and we remove it from the company. The cool thing is every quarter this continually grows automatically, even if your revenue is flat. For example, let's assume that every quarter we have $10,000 of profit added to our profit account. When we take our first quarterly distribution, we have $10,000, so we take out 5 and we leave 5,000. During the second quarter, we add another 10,000. Now we have 15,000 in our profit account. So we take out 7,500 and we leave 7,500. For the third quarter, we add $10,000 into our profit account. Now it's 17,500 in the account. We take out 8,750 and we leave 8,750 in the profit account. For the fourth quarter, we add another $10,000. That means there's $19,750 in the account. We take out half, leaving almost $10,000 in the account. Of course, we want profit to grow, but this also leaves us an emergency fund inside the business, because even though we're removing $10,000 this quarter, we've built up a $10,000 emergency fund in the business. If your company is in debt, you can use this profit distribution you remove to pay down debt. There's a variety of ways to do this, and I'm not going to go into details because you all have different situations. But just know there's a snowball method, an avalanche method, or you may just want to pay down your lines of credit to free them up for future needs. If you're not in debt, you can use the profit distribution to build wealth and new cash flow streams outside of your company. For example, I would always hear Dave Ramsey talking about real estate and buying it for cash. I couldn't figure out how he was doing this so quickly. It's because he was using the profit from his company to buy real estate, and that's how he created another stream of income. Depending on your situation determines how you want to buy real estate. For us, we didn't need cash flow in the current time, but we did want cash flow in the future. So we added leverage through loans and could buy more properties over time. You need to determine what strategy you want to use for this, but this creates a cash flow stream outside of your company. So if something happens, you're always covered. Let's say if you're in the trades and you're an electrician. Well, I would hook up with a few complementary tradespeople, maybe a plumber, a roofer, a renovator, and I would come together and buy houses together. It's one way to do it faster, maybe even a fourplex. You now have referral partners for your business because if you're buying houses together, they're probably going to refer you for your electrical work. On top of that, as you're renovating these houses, it creates another income stream for your electrical business and for all of your partners' businesses. Now you're doubling the results. Maybe you start another business with a partner in another market. You could also buy a building for yourself and become the best tenant ever. The possibilities are endless. You could also invest your profit distribution into a retirement account. One advantage is this provides a tax deduction so you pay less taxes. Of course, part of your profits should go to celebrating. Take your family on a big vacation or a nice dinner. Maybe splurge on that one thing you've always wanted. Again, the possibilities are endless. I know for some of you, the idea of profit is elusive. I want to share some stories of how some business owners find ways where others struggles. The first one comes from my heritage. You may not know, but I'm from India, and India is very much like the US. Each part has its own flavor. For example, someone in New York City is very different from someone in Seattle, who are very different from somebody from Texas. The area we come from in India is known for shrewd money management and business skills. One of the business owners from that area moved away and opened up a grocery store. And he was selling rice, which is a staple product. He would buy 50-pound sacks and he would split it into smaller quantities. His next door competitor, another store, was also selling rice. And as always, they like to compete on price. Price wars start. And even though they have the same supplier, they've got different methods of how they're going to do this. Well, over time, they got down to selling the rice at cost. And essentially at this point, you've got zero profit. This isn't usually smart, but sometimes we need a loss leader. But then the shrewd businessman started selling below cost. After a few weeks, his competitor went over to talk to him and it's like, "How are you doing this? We're both losing money selling at these prices. This is insane." Well, the owner said he was still making money. See, after they repackaged the rice, they had these large burlap sacks that the rice came in. This business owner was selling the bag, and that's where his profit was. He found a way to be more resourceful. Okay, you think this is some crazy story from a foreign country about selling rice. I get it. I met a business owner who's here in the US who runs a scrap business, who used a very similar principle of being more resourceful. His name is Mikey, and he runs a multi-million-dollar scrapyard. What makes him different is that when he picks up scrap metal from manufacturers, he tests the metal and he separates them. See, different types of metal are worth different prices. Copper, steel, nickel, platinum all sell for different amounts. Most manufacturers don't have the time to figure this all out and keep everything separate. They're busy producing what they're producing. Mikey's sales message is, if you use us, we'll separate the metals and test, and we'll pay you more for your scrap. That gave him a unique selling proposition and a way to grow his business. He also gets to create a higher profit margin for himself, as well as a reason for people to use him. Most scrapyards probably don't go to the extent that he does to find the profit in the scrap. Another example that's a little bit more simple is, let's say you cut down trees. If you cut down trees, what do you do with the trees? Do you haul them off? Do you sell them for firewood? Do you figure out what the nicer pieces are and maybe use it for lumber or some other special use? What do you do with all the branches that you shred? Do you sell it off as mulch? Or do you just dump it somewhere and waste your profits? The different products or services you offer all have different margins. It's important to focus on the ones that have the highest margins that allow you to work for less and make more. The biggest lesson here is to take the time to think and look for alternate ways to make money in your business so that you can drive profitability, which should be your number one focus beyond taking care of your employees and customers. Take the time to think about your business. I have a simple wish for you, and that's to be profitable. The stronger you are as a business owner, the more jobs you can create, the better off we are as a country. Small business owners are the backbone of America, and for that, you deserve to be rewarded. If you have a specific question for your business on how you can do this, let's talk. If you're willing to come on the podcast so that we can share it with others and they can learn from the conversation, I'll do it for free. So reach out. It's questions@profitanswerman.com. If you want a done-for-you service, you can have me as your Chief Profitability Officer because you have your zone of genius and want to focus on that. I only work with a handful of clients, so they get my full attention. So don't wait, or I may not have an opening for you. I usually work with business owners who have or are growing to $500,000 to $5 million in revenue. You can use the scheduling link in the show notes to get on my calendar to see if I can help you. If you want to learn about living a life of your dreams, check out my other podcast, Richer Soul. As we close out, let's repeat the mantra. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. Let's thrive and grow. Have a profitable week.